In this lesson, I'll show you how to choose a random sampling technique. Some sampling techniques are random, which means each member of the population has the same chance of being selected. A non-random technique may not yield a representative sample. The question reads, there are 24 students in your class and you wish to interview a random sample of students. How would you perform each sample? The three random sample techniques that we'll be discussing in this video are the following: simple, systematic, and stratified. The first one we'll discuss is simple random sample. A simple random sample is done when you randomly select individuals within a population. Take for example this group of students that we have. Let's say I want to sample 6 of these students. What I could do is put a blindfold and randomly pick students in this classroom. If I do that, I may end up selecting the following students, which I'll show highlighted. Now this technique has an advantage. It's simple. I didn't have to use any algorithm or a special system to select people. On the other hand, one of the disadvantages is that you're not going to get a true makeup of the classroom. So you have to be careful. In the 6 that we selected, we ended up selecting 4 females and 2 males. Now this may be problematic, especially if you have an overrepresentation of one gender versus the other. So had I randomly selected 5 males and 1 female, that wouldn't have been a good representation of the genders in this class. Let's move on to the second technique, systematic random sample. To do a systematic random sample, you have to have a more organized approach to selecting. What you have to do is break down the population into intervals. We have 24 students in this classroom. So we would take 24 and we would divide it by the amount of students that we want to select. Let's say we want to select 6 again. And for the sake of clarity, I'm going to erase the highlights that you see on the screen. Now, dividing 24 by 6, we end up with 4. This 4 suggests that we have to select a starting point, also at random, and then every 4th student from that starting point will be selected. So, starting at this point, every 4th student from this person that I circled will be selected. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll select this student. 1, 2, 3, 4. This student. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And over here, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. This student. I end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students. 4 of which are male and 2 are female. Let's move on to the last type. This is called stratified random sampling. The name of this technique speaks for itself. What we have to do is divide the population into strata or categories. For example, males and females. Then, when I select my students at random, I want to represent the ratio in which the males and females represent in the whole population. We calculated this earlier. There are 15 females here out of 24 students and 8 males. 8 out of 24 represents a third, and 15 out of 24 represents 2/3. This means that when I select my group that I want to sample, it has to represent 2/3 and 1/3. And because there are more females than males, when I do sample, I need to take that into account, that my sample needs to have 2/3 female and 1/3 male, just like in the whole population. So if I want to pick 9 students at random, I need to pick 6 random females from the group and only 3 random males. That being said, I'm going to pick this person, this person, this person, and these 3, and only 3 males from the 8. So randomly selecting this person, and this person. And there you have it. That's the difference between simple, systematic, and stratified. And those are random sampling techniques you can use.